Urmila, why did you decide to actually come and speak out? And it's been interesting that Jaya Bachchan spoke out yesterday for the film industry, then Hema Malini, and now you. So we're seeing strong women actors coming out to defend the film industry. And why did you decide to speak out now?
If any of these things were to be true, I would have been the first person to stand along with her. I have always liked her as an actor and always admired her work. I've always even complimented her on her face and behind her and stood up for her. But there comes a point where you cannot cross a certain line and speak ill of the industry that has made you everything. If certain people are genuinely in, drug addicts or taking drugs, you have no reason to call the entire, connected to, compare it to a drug mafia, drug cartel, all these words, etc., etc. And to just pull it down like this, to speak about a senior colleague like Jaya Bachchan ji. I mean, when Kangana was probably not even born, Jaya ji had made, she's talking about feministic films. It's a joke, right? Because Jaya Bachchan ji is the one who has started it all. She has made movies like Millie and Guddi, in which she was in title roles, given us a film like Abhiman and Sholay. So we are talking about a lady here who has herself been an icon. And tell me, Sonia, one thing. Which Indian culture, which part of it tells you to speak like this and lash out at people like this who have been your senior colleagues in this kind of language, where you're speaking about their daughter, son being hanged and something. I think it is in extreme bad taste, to say the least.
Urmila, you've actually decided that, what was the line? You just said that you've actually said Kangana's tweets were very worrying for you because speaking out against Jaya Bachchan, her family, but also Jaya Bachchan today facing vicious online trolling, and you're likely to face it as well now for speaking out.
It's already begun. It's already begun.
So you're saying the online trolling has already begun?
No, there were two things. I would have never been out here giving these interviews if it was not two most important things in my life and close to my heart, which have been targeted. First being Mumbai and Maharashtra, and second being Hindi film industry. Mumbai and Maharashtra, I mean, I have always said that it has been the intellectual and cultural, apart from being a financial, capital and in a way, a focus point of the country. Maharashtra has always been the intellectual face of India, I would say. And Mumbai has always, welcomed people with open heart from all over the world, let alone India. People have come, made their money, made their name, everything. All the city has done is given. The spirit of Mumbai is so deep, which is connected to Maharashtra, which is connected to Maharashtra's culture. So when all of that is questioned, it's called things like POK and Taliban and all. I think it just again reflects in very bad taste. You're talking about it about a city where you yourself came as a very, very young girl, and you yourself have claimed that you are a young girl run away from home in Himachal, and you have yourself claimed that you have been a drug addict. That particular video is also available on social media, where she's going on and on talking about all these things. Somewhere down the line, you're talking about all of those things. You're talking about a film industry due to probably your personal bad equation or bad experiences that you've had with certain people. You're bringing down an entire industry. All these things sort of don't, they're not right, and they need to be spoken for, and people need to take a stand for it and stop it.
So you're taking the stand, Urmila, but tell me, hasn't this become about politics now? Because you've always said you're a proud Maharashtrian. Uddhav Thackeray talks about defending Maratha pride. Isn't this more about politics, Kangana getting Y+ security from the BJP, than it is actually about issues or the film industry?
What we know, what I know, not even as a Maharashtrian, as just a citizen of this country, and as a citizen, as a proud Mumbaiker, I would call it, is that is not right. That is not how it is going to play out, because you're insulting all of us, the people who have showered love and affection on you, and you're setting up a very wrong example for people of this country. I don't think many people would like to see, their kids being, having an inspiration like Kangana, who speaks in this kind of language. I mean, which girl from a civilized culture house would use this kind of language to say, kya ukhad loge, kiska baap ka kya hai, all of these words, speaking all in this manner about a senior colleague like Jaya Bachchan ji. Is it all in a good taste? Is it all in any kind of Indian culture? Which page of Indian culture teaches us this?
No, but I don't think it's about Indian culture, or I don't think it's about people's backgrounds, I think you have to also give the fact that maybe Kangana is talking about her experience. I mean, she didn't come from a powerful family. She says in her tweets today that, and yesterday as well, that this was her experience, that she was molested in Bollywood. The fact that even that, you know, to get an item number, you have to sleep with someone. The casting couch and the fact that drugs are taken in Bollywood, she says, are realities. Now, why is the industry trying to cover it up? I would say 99%, saying 99% of Bollywood was into drugs may be an exaggeration. But you can't deny the fact that the casting couch, say maybe the use of drugs has been something which has been talked about by other people as well. We've seen it in movies like Sanju.
No. But I am not at all saying that everything is Bollywood is perfect or there is no room for betterment. I'm not at all saying that. All I'm trying to bring your attention to is that it's a very high-profile industry with an instant glamour, name and fame attached to it. So obviously, in any and every issue that is there, bad thing that is happening in the society, first Bollywood would be targeted because yes, we get a lot of adulation and we owe it to the people of the country, the people who make us those stars, to give it back to them, that adulation, that whatever, and set a good example for them. All my point is that everything that Bollywood is accused of is very much there in every possible field. It is there in corporate culture, it is there in media, it is there everywhere. So what I'm trying to say right now is that suddenly over the last few days, months, how come Bollywood has suddenly become this particular thing? If she had so many issues, she has been a star for a very long time, she should have brought it up and she should have spoken about it right at the beginning. And like I said earlier, that, you know, our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has had called the entire Bollywood, the big dignitaries of Bollywood last year to meet up with him. He gave so much of his time to Bollywood because he wanted to take Mahatma Gandhi ji's some of his thoughts and you know, his vision to the people of this country. He wanted to take it to the larger you know, India by large. So would somebody like Honorary Prime Minister be taking a corporation of an industry which is so debauched, which is so down and out and so low life and sad? I don't think so. I think he himself is an excellent example of Indian culture. He has, you know, he's the bestest ambassador of Indian culture all over the world. I don't think he would, you know, have to go to that point to give his time and energy to this people who are so debauched, who seem to be doing nothing else except either, you know, sleeping around or doing drugs or doing all these debauched activities. I wonder when they make these absolutely glorious films and actually bring glory to India. Post-partition, Indian film industry, it has done is that they have, you know, the people from all states, religions, language, they have come together and made glorious films about our country, its national pride, be it Dilip Kumar, be it Manoj Kumar, the great Raj Kapoor too today, you know, so...
No, so I mean, while we may talk about the glory of the film industry, and I don't think anyone's taking away from that, the fact is that some of the issues were first raised by Kangana much earlier when she talked about nepotism on a Coffee with Karan, the belief that she has that after that the movie mafia actually isolated her, didn't give her any movies. And these are the issues which came up as well in the death of Sushant Singh Rajput, that was he left out of camps, were people actually targeting him? Aren't these real issues that need to be discussed? You may not agree with the messenger, in this case Kangana, but these are real issues that need to be discussed. You've seen it in your career as well, camps in Bollywood.
I would like to bring your attention to a very basic fact that first of all, CBI, everybody wanted CBI for Sushant Singh. CBI is doing their best. Narcotic Department is doing their best. So I think all these agencies which are there essentially to do this job, let them do their job and let us wait and not conduct our own operas in the meanwhile. Number one. Number two, this voice that she is raising, I just personally think that it's very selective. And what happens is in the narrative, she has to decide. Because when you keep on talking, you sort of, you know, get off track with the narrative you're trying to give. Because it is far from the truth. That is the only thing that comes across very, very strongly. Which is that you're saying on one side that you have been sidelined and you have been ostracized, etc., etc. On one side, you are saying, I don't need only anybody, I'm self-made, I'm self-made, I'm self-made. On one side, you are saying that women are, you know, I have brought in feminism in whatever, etc. On one side, you're busy playing the woman card and saying that because I'm a woman, I'm attacked, I'm this. So I think, you know, she needs to first of all decide as to whether she wants to just play this victim card and keep on saying, and no, like I said, all these things things do exist in their own ways. Let me remind you that I come from an extremely middle class Marathi background. My mother doesn't know M of makeup. They don't have anything to do with films. I suffered a lot of nepotism, but I chose never to speak about it and concentrate on my good work and let my work speak for itself. In the whole process, I have suffered a lot. I have not earned any, what you call it, I will tell you some of my remarkable, performances. I was never even nominated for some of them. That's all a part and parcel of the big journey that you take. But the journey overall, you have to decide whether you want to remember it for good things or bad. And you have to decide if you want to take up a stand like this, then are you taking it out of a personal vendetta, or you actually want all these things to come out for people?
No, but just to ask, because you said that you yourself came from a middle-class Marathi family with no movie background, you faced struggles as well. But isn't it also the fact that in Bollywood there's silence, no one ever speaks about it? In fact, in your movie Rangila, you also played a young girl with dreams coming into a big bad world of the Hindi film industry as well. Did you ever face the movie mafia? Did you ever face the casting couch in your movie journey?
No, see, I'm trying to tell you that there are all kinds of things. Aren't all kind of thing people there in your line of work? Every line of work, but it's the choices you have to make. And it's the choices and it's the ideals and principles that you have to be strong upon. And in that, yes, if you're suffering, then you will kind of take the brunt of it and suffer for it. Like I said, that in the 90s, the press was like a mafia because there was no social media. So the stars were made and literally they were shattered by the media at that time. So I also suffered a lot because I refused to budge in and give in to these people. But I also met some extremely nice people. They were extremely generous with their, with their praises for me, with everything, and their support for me, etc. So one has to decide what is one looking at. And I have no problems about raising issues and, pointing out things which are wrong so that if we can correct them, that's great. But I don't think you can, you are playing victim card on one side. You're also victimizing people for, doing their own things and having their own whatever. You do your own thing now. You follow your work, do some marvelous great work. And my point in all of this one here is the beauty is that we have crossed the 5 million mark of COVID patients. Out of that, the last million were in last 11 days. I think it is terribly shocking. What is happening on Indo-China border is terribly disturbing. What is happening to our GDP economy, unemployment is terrible. What is happening with the farmers coming out on the road and protesting, being beaten up is horrible. But is anybody talking about all these things? So a person like me with, I'm sorry, with very little sensibility probably or sense, I'm wondering whether all these things are being spoken about because this soap opera is easy to conduct than to actually target the real issues. There are so many of them, and there's so much happening in the whole of country, different kind of laws being introduced, different kind of tragic.
No, I think that's a very important point. And again, I said it's interesting that an actor, even though of course you were in politics for a while, holds up the mirror to the media on what actually the focus should be. I'm glad that we, of course, began with COVID and China. But just to say, because you asked a very valid question, is this a soap opera to divert from other things? And Kangana should play the victim card to bring in here. But the politics, and we talk about the film industry as the villain, but really politics is a different world altogether, which has many different levels of, say, conspiracies or plots going on at the same time. There's the Bihar elections happening. There's the fact of the BJP versus the Shiv Sena playing out. And the fact that Kangana's Pali Hill office was demolished within 24 hours for taking on the Sena. Whatever she's saying, you may or may not agree with it, but surely demolishing her office is wrong. To call her names is wrong. People were also saying that, you were in the Congress and that's why you were saying this now against her.
They will say what they want to say. And like I said, that no matter how much I try to say that this is not a political statement or interview that I'm doing, this is out of my social responsibility to the people of this country. And I will maintain that. Secondly, yes, what happened with her office and a certain word being used against her was completely condemnable. And I would never stand up for such kind of actions or such things. But the point right now is that all these things spoken and said, Why is so much importance given to this whole thing is what I'm trying to understand. Every second day she puts up a tweet. Every second day the main media is carrying it and conducting, those, what you call it, prime time debates on why she spoke this, why she spoke that, why she spoke that. But there are so many other things, let alone all of these things. Today, we have to think that that Y+ security that was given to her, that has come from the money that we have paid. We as taxpayers, can you say tomorrow because of act of God, can I not pay the tax? We can't say that, na. We have to pay, we have to bring in that money, we have to somehow survive and struggle and survive. So let us just talk about all these other issues instead of these particular things. So actors have to decide, and even people have to decide and choose as to what they want to talk about, what they want to concentrate on. Absolutely. And not be this moronic country where people are just made into slaves to this buffoonery that media is constantly subjecting us to. It's embarrassing that the watchman of somebody's building, this Rhea Chakravarti's building, the delivery boy, they're almost harassed, they're almost manhandled. That poor guy is like, mujhe kuch pata nahi, he doesn't know what the hell is happening.
Absolutely.
So we have we stood so low? Have we become so?
No, I think that's a question. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's a question. I have no answer for. It's
world,
ridiculous how the way the media coverage of this.
To this very sad fact that a very wonderful human being, a very marvelous star and actor, and a very sensitive, sensible person like Sushant Singh, he loses his life, whether he killed himself or some other people killed him, whatever. But in this whole thing, a morbid mockery of his, his death has happened. There is no two way about it. I just wish and pray his soul is resting in peace, and he's not looking at all of this and wondering that maybe it was good that today he's being called a drug addict, one day, something else, was he suffering disorders. All these things are coming across, and they're not reflecting the guy in good light. He was a wonderful, hardworking actor, and that is how I would like to remember him, and I would think that all his fans would like to remember him.
I know. I think that's a valid point also, that for Sushant Singh Rajput, all the stories coming out really after his death, is that tarnishing his image, who the real Sushant was. But of course, in the midst of this, I have to say, it's absolutely crazy the way some media has covered this. But what do you think, again, of how another young actor, Rhea Chakravarti, has been treated? Because there are very few people who are actually speaking up for her, as she's been hounded as well.
I just said, if the last million cases of COVID have come up in 11 days, this whole circus that has happened when that girl was going into the office of narcotics departments or somewhere, it was beyond tragic. Let those agencies do their job. Right. So this girl also, she is cooperating with pretty much all the agencies. Yes. I'm not siding her or I'm not against her, but just as an individual, what I'm seeing, I'm just kind of keeping it in front of you. So let them do their job, and if she's really guilty, let them say that, and let her then suffer the consequences. In the meanwhile, why are we only killing her 1,000 deaths every day? Is that human? Is that a right kind of behavior towards a girl? Or is she not a girl?